FuturestraderElite here this morning with your NQ pre-market prep. On 10/28, we got several things to go over, so let's just hop right on into it and grab this chart, drag it up here and open it up. This is set on the 1 hour chart, and first we're going to start out with taking a look. I pulled these fibs on here from this swing low last time it was on the major time frame back here on this candle to the high, and as you can see right here, this 50% fib is at 480, which would allow us to come back and fill this imbalance or this gap up and everything. And then we got an imbalance zone down here that got put in right before all that happened in this area. When you look at this, depending on the pullback, if we're looking at this area on this side, we could be getting down to this trend line here, which would be a hot spot for a bounce. That's around 400. I know it sounds like a lot. We're at 979, but what really is 500 or 600 points in NQ anymore in a day? So this might not be a today thing that happens, but right now we're looking at overall picture, and I'm going to tell you why. I got the RSI pulled up down here on my chart. This will be the first morning I've ever really talked about using the RSI, but I use it all the time. So this is set on the 1 hour, and you see we got this trend line here, and we already broke through this 1 hour. And now we're curling up right here. This red line that you see down here in the RSI that it's curling off of, this is the weekly trend line on the RSI, which we'll look at in a minute, and it's curling up. Broke the 1 and curling off the top of the weekly. And so let's just switch to the weekly real quick so you get a better picture. Excuse me. Excuse me, guys. Let's switch this to the weekly so that we can look at the bigger picture here. This is why we need to be watching for a breakdown. We're getting close to a pullback. And when I say that, I don't mean that it's going to happen today. We just need to be prepared for it. This is a heavy trend line on the RSI going back to July last year or 2 years ago. This was in 2023. And you see how this has acted against that trend line, and you can see we broke this right here, and now we're still above it. So can we get a push in this going up here? Well, absolutely. But what we need to look at is, say, if we stuck that there and went to that top of that one, this line's kind of in an upward trend. So this right here actually went higher than this point back here. So you know, we can't say that this little spot ain't going to come up here. It can still go higher, but I would be more inclined to think that this is going to end up turning around today or sometime this week, unless we get another good push and it goes up here and tags that before coming down. But I think everybody needs to be ready to see some heavy rejection coming up. I could be completely wrong, just because that's where this is on the RSI, but this is something that I look at heavily, especially on a large time frame like the weekly. So this don't look good that it's up here. You know, it kind of bounced here, broke through, come back under, now we're back above. But then when you switch back to the 1 hour, every time I do that, I got to redo my data series. Every time, or when you look at that, and then you hop back to the 1 hour and you see where we broke through the one, and see it's curling off that weekly. Let's say we can put something like this on here on this hourly and see what it does here. You know, could this come up a little bit, which I'm going to keep an eye on the RSI today. I hadn't really been keeping a close eye on it like I usually do. So I just wanted to start out with that, and then I'm going to take that off my chart. It's taking up too much space on my chart. So now when we get back to the 1 hour, let's blow this up again. I mean, we're just really extended here. You look, like I said, from back here, you pull them fibs. The 50% fib is at 480. And that's why I wanted to pull the RSI up, because once you see where it is on the weekly, you know, it wouldn't be surprising for me if this returned to this trend line down here. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe say we get some chop, but somewhere end up over here maybe in this imbalance zone and this trend line and this previous all-time high. That's a whole lot of confluence price there, but I mean, it's not going to come straight down. You wouldn't think, unless there was some bad news. It could, but let's get on past the thought of that right now and think about what we might be looking at today. That was just about maybe the overall picture because of where we are on the RSI. Now let's move down to the 15-minute, kind of see what we're dealing with. Maybe on the intraday side of things. One, I need to get rid of my fibs. I don't want them on there right now. All right, so as you can see, we got us another imbalance zone here. It's a small one. I put this right here in this morning, this blue box right here. Switch over, I'll tell you what that is. That is 925 to 935. And then the imbalance zone is 911 to 920. And then we got the golden pivot at 905. So I guess you can see I got a lot of blue lines here. Those are going to be areas of reaction I'm looking for maybe in a pull down today. If we get a drawdown at the open or throughout the day, or if we bleed off today, these will all be areas of interest to me. That's 896, 860, 852, 828, 814, 801, and then the S1 pivot is at 798. And then 775. I just noticed I had a blue line at 891 yesterday. Did I say 891? Oh, I moved it, I guess. 896. That 891 level played out well yesterday as the measured move. We got a decent rejection, and then once we got above it, we came back and tested that thing right here on this wick. This blue line was right here yesterday, and we got a good rejection off of it, initial reaction. When it came back and tested this, look at this run off of that. Now, I didn't catch it. I hope somebody did. Nice little run there. So that's what we're going to be at this morning. Of course, a lot could change between the time I release this and the opening bell. That's why we'll be updating live in the updates channel in Discord. It's free to join if you're not part of the trading community. but it's a good place to be if you want some updates. I don't really see anything else worth noting right now. We just got to see what they want to do. Yesterday seemed kind of hard to me. The ATR seemed really low all day for the most part, not long after the market opened. And so I didn't even get to rotate through all my accounts. And then, you know, I want to see a little bit of volatility today. I want that ATR to be between 15 and 20 most of the day if it will. But if it don't, we'll still have game plans put together. We'll have levels to break and breaks of structure and balance zones to fill. There's always going to be something out there. Just got to stay patient, stick with the plan, don't overtrade, don't get caught in the chop. You know, put the plan together. If there's not a plan, just get up and walk away. Don't sit there and try to make a trade happen. You have to let your trade come to you. You cannot force something to happen. You actually got to be able to visualize the play and put your entry, exit, and stop into action. And if it don't go your way, take the loss, find the next trade. Don't hold and hope. That's another account killer. So just trade with structure, confidence, and precision. That's what I teach. And that's how I trade. And that's how I'd like everybody else to trade to stay safe. So I'll see you guys in the recap. And the ones that aren't part of the Discord, smash that like and subscribe on YouTube so you be notified. Come join the Discord. Links are on YouTube. And then for everyone else that is part of the Discord, I'll see you in the live updates channel. Have a great day.